Good morning, Nuggets. It is your favorite TT from Divine Me 1111 Spiritual Guidance. And I wanted to pop in with a word. We're going to get into a TT Talks really quick. I hope you all are doing well. I hope everything is flowing for you in the manner and in the way that is most easy, and things are transitioning and being let go, and things are starting in the manner in which is most peaceful for you. Thank you so much for liking, sharing, commenting, and subscribing. If you need to get in contact with me, my information will be down in the description box below. All right. So, been doing some meditation and some thinking and some listening and paying attention. And in that, there's, been a couple of things that I wanted to touch on. One of those things being being in your true authenticity for yourself and not compromising. And I'm talking about this because I was leaning towards this, and God told me no. So learning to be independent and release codependencies and attachments and things that are not healthy, and then being in that in between phase, having transitioned out of things that are not positive, not growing, not good for me, into things that are. You get in that space where you think of compromising, and this happens in the industries that when you want to better yourself and better your life, you start to do things that either you are grounded and rooted in, and you don't compromise that for anybody. You don't compromise your integrity. You stay true to your soul, your heart, and your character. Or you say, okay, well, I can do this, and get back to what it is that I want once I get there, once I get this toehold. And the thing is once you start to compromise and give just a little bit, that opens the door for more compromising and more. That's how you get into that energy of selling your soul to get followers or get attention or love or money or whatever it is that you're desiring. And it only takes a half a second to realize that it's those fractions of a second of, am I willing to sell my soul for this? And that's essentially what it is compromising your integrity just a little bit to get a toehold, when that part is the test. I'm that's what it's coming to the understanding of for me, is those things are a test. That's where the test comes in. Are you willing to stay the course and listen to your divine guidance and let God move you where you are to be, or are you willing to compromise your integrity for yourself in order to attain something that you could have done with all of your soul intact? It may not be to the scale of the outside world, but it is keeping you in alignment with your divinity and not compromising your soul. That whole thing that sex sells, well, guess what? It only sells if people are buying it. So why not be the entity, the being, the person, the soul, the heart that demands something more, demands something different? There's 8 billion people on this planet, give or take. If you're doing it alone by yourself for a while, it's okay. Everything happens for a reason. God has you in this place for a reason. And it's to solidify within yourself who you are. So when it is time for you to be elevated to the next level, into the next space, to one, be in the purpose that God has for you, but two, to show and teach those on that level how you don't have to compromise to be in the space that you desire, one, and two, where God wants you to be. So I am still getting in that energy of practicing patience and allowing divine timing rather than compromising my beliefs for myself. And yes, of course, it's for us to grow and learn and expand, but doing so in a way that stretches you beyond that level of what you physically see and what's immediately gratifying, to the space of grounded and rootedness and a strong foundation to longevity. So I've been getting this whole energy of one, everybody ain't your friend. If you have not heard that from your parents, let TT tell you. Everybody ain't your friend. Everybody don't want to see you win. Everybody, they want you to do okay. They want you to do all right. Yeah, and I know all of these sound like cliches, but they are absolutely true. It's not. It's those, those, that backstabber energy of people smiling in your face, but really either they want to be you or they want to knock you down so you don't become the full actualized version of yourself. And that's because they fear not being enough for themselves. So they project their fears onto you. They project their jealousies, envies, and hurts and pains onto you to keep you stuck and stagnant. There are some of us who are energy like we are alchemists, and we transmute those energies, and we take on, um, especially if you are a light worker, you are in that space of um, taking on the tough cases, is what I'm hearing. Taking on the tough cases when it comes to the lessons of energy vampires, and um, putting mirrors up in front of people and showing them their actions and showing them who they are. We are all teachers and mentors of that. In, you teach people how to treat you, and in that you learn how you want to be treated, and you learn the grace of being patient and learning how another wants to be treated. Okay, it's not about, compromising yourself and um, being a hindrance or a detriment to someone else. That's not love. It's not. It's not love. It's not kind. You don't even. It's not. It's not respect. And it's not even having respect for the other person. It's having respect for yourself. Because the thing is the energy that you put out is that same energy God is going to allow you to receive back to yourself. Um, and getting in that space of grounding your integrity and your soul that shows you approved, and not worrying about the outside world, the outside trappings of what looks good, so that you can draw things to you. When it's for you, it's going to come anyway. It's going to come naturally. And please know and understand, I am not preaching at anyone. I get these downloads and this information and this understanding and these epiphanies for myself, and I share them so that we can all rise and grow as a community, not just as individuals, but we can raise the vibration of everything and everyone on this planet, and then affect everything around us. And it's the outside world that wants to tell you, okay, if you don't have this kind of thing, then we don't validate you. Well, the thing is the outside world doesn't validate, God does. And I say that in a very humble manner, because the thing is a person that is homeless and lives on the street could have the mind and the word and the blessing of a message that you need to hear over somebody that's sitting in a multi-million-dollar church, or someone that is that's considered a world leader or a politician. And that's just true facts. The thing is, we've started looking at people's, we look so much to outside validation rather than checking in with our soul and in our spirit of what is the truth for us. So being in that space of having left things behind, especially with all of the planets being direct now, it's going to be an accelerated movement forward to close that gap of leaving things behind and then going forward into the new. That space in between is that's where the tests come in. That's when and know 100% God has not left you. God is not silent. God knows. It is the place where God is saying, okay, I have placed this here in front of you, just like that whole tale of Job in the Bible. I've placed this here before you. I've allowed this transition of yours to happen so that you can be stronger and purified in your groundedness. I allow these things. So God allows these things to come in and test you. Trust me, I know. I've been on the wheel of this test several times, and now it's like, okay, as soon as you get to that place in space where you understand, you get to and right where the blessing, you can see it is just right on the other side. That's when the enemy comes, the test comes, to see if you have learned the lesson of being in your true authenticity and being your true self. When I started doing readings and started really embracing the community of spirituality over the community of religion, it was, it was all okay when I was, and it's not that I don't anymore, it's just that I have perspective of it now. Everybody was a-okay with me when I was on that same train of, going to church and tithing all of my money and, being broke and things of that nature. Everybody was a-okay with that because I was in the same mentality and mindset of them, of the immediate community and collective. As soon as I started pulling myself back and saying, hey, something is not right here, I'm not feeling this as it should be. You want to talk about being ostracized. I'm going to get a little personal, and I try not to, but I'm going to get a little personal. I am a very strong family-oriented person. It definitely 100% was ingrained in me that, family, that they're saying we all we got. And for God to take me through this part of my test is really, it's really daunting for me, because it is separating me and ripping me away from the thing that I depend on, which is my family. And when I tell you, embracing this level of understanding and level of knowledge has opened my eyes to the gift that I have on my life, and being able to see things and speak to things in people that I see. It's become, very, it's a lot of spiritual warfare and attack that happens when something that you have been so ingrained in is becoming understood, and then you are separating yourself from that. I honestly, naively thought that the more that I came into my truth and understanding for myself, I would be embraced as being the individual person that I am. I didn't change how I loved people. I didn't change how I I spoke to them, but I did understand that I needed to change how I interacted, because I feel what people feel, and I pay attention to patterns. And when I started exercising my gifts and withdrawing myself and saying, hey, this is not this is not right. I don't feel that this is right, and it's going in a positive manner for me. That whole, um, empath, vampire, narcissist, fight. I could not be in the same mind space and energy that I used to be in. And when I came into the understanding of that for myself and started to move differently, I became the enemy. And it hurt for a long time, and it still does, especially with things that I hold dear to me, my nieces and nephews. And my birthday just passed. Something just shifted, and in the last couple of years I saw that the more I embraced myself, the more I became exactly truly who I was meant to be, the wider the gap became between those who I'm super close to, not just family but friends as well, that it had to be a transition. And it was, like I said, everything was all okay when I was, being that person that was pouring into other people. But as soon as I started saying, hey, I need you to pour into me, the narrative changed. So I'm coming into the understanding that not everybody's going to agree with your path, and it's okay. And the thing that is really going to be the test is making sure that I don't compromise who I am in order to get people to like me. That was a big thing for me, is getting people to like me. And I used to compromise a lot, and now that I don't, I feel more solid within myself, but the ground around me is shaking. So be mindful of not compromising who you are from day one. No, it doesn't matter who the person is. There doesn't matter their position in this world. Don't compromise who you are to satisfy someone else's desire to view you a certain way. So sex may sell, but you gonna sell your soul? That doesn't make sense to me, but okay. I'm not judging anybody that does whatever it is that they do. What I am saying is, are you being true to yourself? Are you doing this for the world? Because, of course, the Bible says, what good does it do to gain the world and lose your soul? We're going to leave it at that. I love you all, and I send you blessings in light. Take care.